what should people know going into this?
Well, we in Arkansas are not used to such extremely cold temperatures. And so people may not be familiar with hypothermia or frostbite. So it's important for people to be able to recognize them when they occur and take the appropriate steps. So hypothermia is when the body is losing heat faster than it can generate heat. And so in adults, it causes a lot of shivering. It can cause people to have confusion because the brain may slow its thinking. People will fumble with their hands, and people may actually go to sleep and be unconscious. And so they will be dependent on people around them to help them. So if this occurs, then you should take their oral temperature. And if the temperature is less than 95 degrees, you need to get immediate medical help. If you find that someone has probable hypothermia and needs to be warmed, then you want to get them to a warm place, a warm room or shelter. You want to warm up the core of their body first, so their trunk, their head and neck, before you do the legs or the arms. And if you have something like an electric blanket, that would be great. Of course, if they have wet clothes on, you need to get those off. If you don't have an electric blanket, then you can use body heat, skin to skin contact, and cover with the blanket while you're warming that person. And then, of course, you want to give them something warm to drink if they're able to drink. You want to avoid alcohol or caffeine. They actually cause the body to lose heat faster. So if someone drinks alcohol, they may feel warmer, but that's because they're losing heat through their skin. So we don't want to give alcohol to someone who may have hypothermia.
And so with things like hypothermia, for temperatures that are maybe in like the single digits or a high of like 12 degrees, something like that, um, how fast can that set in? Does someone have to be outside for a long period of time, or is it fairly quick?
It can be surprisingly fast. People can develop hypothermia even at 40 degrees under the right conditions. It depends on what they're accustomed to, but it also depends on things like wind chill. So even though the temperature may be around freezing or above, people can get hypothermia, and it's surprisingly fast when the temperatures are lower.
And you mentioned, covering the head and the neck and kind of the trunk of the body first.
Yes.
Maybe this is a silly question, but for people who go outside, how important are things like gloves or a hat or a scarf?
Well, it's really important to dress warmly. Use layers, cover the head and neck. Make sure that the feet are well insulated with socks and shoes. Boots, if possible, that would not get wet. And then also gloves. We know that people can get frostbite fairly easily. The areas of the body we worry most about frostbite would be like the ears, the nose, the cheeks, and the chin, but also the fingers and the toes. So frostbite, you can recognize that as kind of a whitish or a grayish yellow area. It may be numb. It may feel a little thicker skin than the surrounding skin. And so if that occurs, people need to get to a warm area and then warm them gently. You want to warm them with body heat. So if it's your fingers, you can kind of put them under your armpits and get them warmer. It's better not to use a heating pad or a blanket like that because it might be too warm and burn a person, and they wouldn't know it because they would have numbness at that point. You can also put the toes or hands in warm water. Shouldn't be hot water, just warm water, and that would help to warm them up. And then be sure to get medical attention as soon as possible.
And so then with these weather conditions coming in, is there anything else you want people to really know about, if they have to go outside, if they should go outside at all, if they can avoid it, or even just, general ways to stay safe while we kind of deal with these storms coming in?
Sure. So people should prepare their homes in the event that we lose power. So they should have some extra food that doesn't require cooking to eat. They need fresh water stored in case the pipes burst and they can't get water or have to turn their water off. And then also they need to make sure that they're heating their homes safely. So it would be good if people had both a smoke alarm and a carbon monoxide detector in their homes. To prevent the pipes from bursting, it's really a good idea to let the faucets drip and then open the cabinets underneath the sinks so that the air from the room can get under the sink and keep the pipes there warm. Those are simple things that people can do. Of course, they need to pay attention to their pets, bring them indoors, even if their pets usually stay outdoors, because these are going to be extremely cold temperatures, and pets can also get hypothermia. And of course, we want to make sure that our pets have plenty of water to drink on the inside of the house. A lot of times people keep their water bowls outside. So we need to make sure that if we bring them in, they have plenty of water to drink. Another thing that people need to take into consideration is when they're traveling. So they should carry things in their cars that if for some reason they were stranded somewhere, they could stay warm. So they should include a blanket or some other covering so that they can stay warm in their car. If for some reason they're stranded, they would need water, a flashlight, a way to charge their phone, and also they may wish to carry a weather radio with them. There's easy to purchase those, and many of them are either battery powered or they use a wind up power source. So, and then people may wish to carry a little food in their car.